Searching for a plumbing company. Integrity, positive customer reviews. Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome into 6 p.m. in Lincoln with former Nebraska linebacker Chris Kolarevic.
Intercepted, ball game over. Picked off by Chris Kolarevic.
This is 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic, sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back live in studio. We have a very special guest today on. We'll get right to it. It's Riley Harms. So as you know, I've been coaching at Iowa Western for the last 4 months, my first coaching job. And Riley is the tight ends coach and part-time special teams coach. Is that like half special teams coach? Is that a good way to put it?
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
But he's the tight ends coach. It's his first coaching job as well. Played quarterback at Nebraska Kearney and Ouachita Baptist. Where's that at again?
Arkadelphia, Arkansas.
Arkadelphia?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a real place.
Arkadelphia sounds like a Batman villain.
Could be. It could be.
All right.
Pleasure to be here. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. So usually I just start the show. We could just get right to it. I've been in Michigan all week. I just got back this morning, enjoying that sunshine. We have all the freshman kids at Iowa Western coming on campus tomorrow. Feels like a kid on Christmas morning, getting all the presents. But we got the kids coming in on tomorrow. So we got workouts starting, and football's gearing up. Like football's getting ready to go. It's about that time of year. You get that the juices flowing, kind of like football's about here. How you feeling about it?
It feels like we get started earlier every year, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people complain about that when it becomes a year-round sport, but I think for people who love the game and for the incoming kids, I think it's really good for them. But man, I'm excited to get them on, and we got a good recruiting class, so it's going to be fun to see them in person.
100%. 100%. We do have a great recruiting class. For me, I pretty much took an entire year off of football. Like I almost didn't even watch football last year because I was just very burnt out of the sport. I'd play on 4 different teams and I was burnt out of the sport, needed a year to just recollect myself. So I'm at that point where I'm really itching to get back to it. Like I'm really itching to get back to practice and meetings and watching film every day. I'm itching to get back to it, and I'm excited about it. So we'll pretty much just have 7-on-7s. We'll pretty much have workouts and kind of get these younger kids ready to go play some ball.
No question. I don't know how about you, but I hate sitting around these last few weeks when you put them in. It's a little bit slow around the office, kind of had an off.
Drives me nuts.
It's going to be nice to be back in a routine and have something process-based, something to do every day.
Definitely. Yeah. And you get to that point where you rest enough. You get a couple days of it, and it's like, all right, I'm ready to get back to it.
At noon, it's like, all right, we got to go do something.
We got to go do something. But yeah, things are about to start getting very busy. Things are going to get rolling here soon. We got first game's Georgia Military, right? Yep. So we got to get ready for Georgia Military at home. And we're getting ready for the season. So I want to start by kind of getting your background of where you grew up, kind of what made you who you are, like what kind of sports were you playing growing up, like what made you into the quarterback that you were.
So I'm originally from Fremont, just up the road. Was born there. I grew up there, graduated from Fremont High. Growing up, I played pretty much everything with the ball. Played football, basketball, golf, and then I ran track for a few years in high school too. Sports are pretty much what formed me. Obviously, outside of my family, I spent a lot of time playing those sports with my family, and that's definitely probably the biggest part of what I am. I feel like sports are good for discipline and hard work, all the cliche things. But I think it really forces you to find out who you are and kind of makes you who you become.
No question it does. Yeah.
And, I don't want to skip ahead, but I kind of talked on the way up here, like playing sports away from home too. You got to go out and meet people.
Mhm.
And you got to
Mhm.
really find out who you are, because there's going to be nobody there to help you. I'm
100%.
an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old man, like start to figure out, okay, I got
You
to
got
do
to
this on
grow
my
up.
own.
You got to
Exactly.
grow up. And for me, it was learning how to work on a team, like learning how to work with people who, you're all working towards the same goal, but you're also competing against each other, and it's figuring out your place on the team, where you fit in, where your natural abilities and demeanor kind of fits on a team, and where your role goes. And you just learn about life. I've talked about this on the show a bunch of times, where football just teaches you a ton about life. Especially, you're going to get around people that you never would have gotten around
Yeah.
had you not played. Like if you stayed where you grew up, or you stayed around a kind of similar circle of people that you grew up with, you're not going to meet so many of these like very interesting people from all these different walks of life. And it just teaches you a lot about life and how to bring people together,
Oh, man.
and how to unite people on a common goal and get people to go do something together and work together, and kind of put aside your own ego, put aside your own pride for a common goal and work together.
How much better would the world be if everybody worked together like a football locker room?
I
Think
had
about like,
It's funny you say that. I had Chris Slatt. He was a track coach here. I had him on the show a couple months ago, and he said that exact same thing. I think I posted a clip online of that exact thing. He said, like, if the world was like a football locker room, things would be a lot better. Where it's like you have a common goal, and a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of times like things get divided because people are working towards different things.
just being from Fremont, Nebraska, kind of
Hmm
25,000, and then we've got kids from Chicago or Miami, people with a whole different life perspective, whole different life experience. I mean, that's good for me, and I think hopefully it's good for them too, to just be around different people and learn all those different perspectives and experiences.
It is. It's challenging at first though. Like
Oh,
that first, when you're 18 or 17 and you get to a football locker room and you got to figure out. I mean, for me, I'd only dealt with this like a certain group of type of demographic of people.
right.
And then you get to a football locker room and you have to figure out how to get along with all different types of people. So you have to figure out how to kind of communicate with that. How did you kind of navigate that transition? How did you navigate that transition from growing up in Fremont to then being in a big locker room full of guys? Like, how did you navigate getting to know everybody and kind of figuring out your place on the team?
I had a couple really good mentors when I first got to Kearney, and I don't think they ever really like said this, but it's just what I noticed. I just truly, if you just are yourself, just are who you are, I think everybody's going to appreciate that. Even if they disagree with how you go about things, what you say or whatever it is, they're going to see that it's genuine. They see that, we're trying to work towards that goal, but as long as they know that, you're being who you are, you aren't forcing something, they're going to appreciate that a lot more than if you're trying to be something you're not just to make them. So I think that's what I learned a lot at Kearney, was just be Riley Harms, and, and work on yourself, be the best football player you can be, and everybody else is going to follow that.
Man, I'm glad you said that. That's a perfect answer. That's so spot on. And I think it honestly took me longer to realize that than you probably.
Well,
That's the only thing that really works.
I'm fortunate, and just I felt like growing up, I've been like kind of loud, so I
Yeah.
kind of naturally taken some leadership roles, and my wife always says like, oh, I can't believe you said that to my mom, or like a joke or something to whoever. I'm like, if I would have said it to them, I would have said it to everybody.
Right.
Just
Right.
I feel like if you're just yourself around everybody, you don't ever have to worry about what you say. You are who you are, and then everybody else will got to figure it out.
That's spot on. That's spot on. Wow. I'm couldn't have said it better. Truthfully, I couldn't have said it
Thanks.
better. That was an amazing answer. I'm so glad you said that. So yeah. So you grow up, you're playing. What was like your sports in high school? You had to have been a basketball player, right? Like,
Yeah, I was probably very better at basketball.
Yeah.
In high school, but I love football more. And then I was a golfer.
Yeah, that's right.
Golf's
That's
like
right.
my
So you did golf like competitively in high school?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I've
That
been
makes
playing
sense
golf.
because yeah. So I played for the listeners. I played golf with Riley one time, and I mean he's unbelievable at it. Like I have not spent that much time playing golf, and I mean I watched. It's pretty wild.
I
So that
should
makes a lot
be
more
a lot
sense now.
better. But no, I played competitive golf, and that's a whole different rabbit hole that you can go down, and how that can kind of form you
Yeah.
as a person too. But and I did track for 1 year high school, but most of the time I was a golfer. But football was definitely the main sport. That's what I focused on. That's what I did in the summer. That's what I knew I wanted to play in college. And just kind of the same thing that you and I've been doing this summer, going to prospect camps.
Yep.
Trying to kind of prove who you can be.
100%. Yeah, it is kind of funny to see it from the other side of the coin.
Oh man.
Yeah, I talked about that a couple weeks ago. When I think I got back from the South Dakota State camp and the Central Michigan camp, and I was just talking about it's interesting to see. Now it makes so much more sense why a kid gets recruited. Like I'm at these camps and I'm watching kids, and it's like, oh, like I can clearly tell who can play and who can't.
Well,
but growing up, I just couldn't. Like there was just things that you're just not aware of what kind of coaches look for or what you need to be doing. Because I grew up and I didn't kind of know how to navigate that, and I would go to camps and I would play and I would do well, but I didn't quite know how to like promote myself and be a person that would get those offers.
Well, there's a certain confidence too that is just like noticeable,
right?
You know that I definitely, you know, I was
where like people are drawn to.
Oh,
because that's kind of how football is. You really have to know how to get along a team, and you can tell who has other people drawn to them, who brings other people in,
right? Who makes everybody around him better. And I was 6'3", you know, 150 pounds as a junior, so it was probably hard for me to convey a lot of confidence. Probably not a lot of people wanted to follow that guy into a battle, but no question. I think if you can, even at camps like that, you know, the guys that step up first, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, you can really tell. You can really tell because it is more than just the physical. Because growing up, like I always saw it as, I grew up in a smaller town and I kind of didn't realize that it was more than the physical. So I would work on my physical gifts a lot. I would work out a lot. I would run fast, jump high, be big, strong. But it didn't register in my brain that it was so much more than that. It's so much more about like how you carry yourself and how you work with the people around you, because football is so much about working with the people around you. It's so much about being able to work on a team and knowing your role in that and having people be drawn to you. And it's one of those things that you just kind of have to learn along the way.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, how often in any sports, but like especially football, there's just the most talented people. Like how often do you like after the national championship, like, oh, they were just the most talented. Once they fought through adversity the best, you know, the best team, best culture.
Yeah.
Very rarely, it's like, oh, they just had the best players.
I feel like what I see a lot of times on winning teams is adversity brings them closer, where then losing teams, adversity spreads everybody apart. Like I've been on teams where we had some adversity and it just became a shattered culture because everybody started wanting their own thing out of it. Where then I've been on other teams where we had adversity, things happen, and it brought everybody together because you all had the common goal and you were all and you kind of band together and you're like, okay, how do we get through this together? How do we work through this adversity together rather than try to pick each other apart or try to be territorial with things?
And that's why football is the best, you know, game on the planet, and probably you and I's opinion and a lot of people's opinion. There's never going to be a game where everything goes well.
Never. It's
the same in life. There's never going to be a day where everything goes well.
Never.
But
never.
It's a great teacher in that too.
Yep. And kind of knowing how to put aside. Okay, if you have something in life going on, you kind of have to put it aside for your teammates, for your people. Like if you've got something going on at home or something that's bothering you, like you still have to show up and perform every day. And I think that for me, the performance of it, like having to go and perform, like that pressure to perform and have to be there for my teammates and team, essentially, that helped me. I think that helped me grow a lot.
That's a great way to put it. I had a coach in Arkansas who said this, and it sounds harsh, but it's great advice. Like, truly, when you're dealing with something outside of football, there's probably like 5 people in the whole world that care, you know, like maybe one of your closest buddies on the team actually care. Other than that, it's like your role, your job, like you've said, to come back to the team and make it work no matter what.
You need to
you got to handle your business off the field 100%. And you got to come right, whatever the case is. How often do you really care like what somebody else is actually? It's hard to do that.
Yeah, because everybody's got their own stuff.
Exactly.
Like as much as it is tough when somebody's going through something. Every single person on a team is going through something that they have going on at home. And you just have to recognize that and know how to still show up for the people around you. Yeah. So you go to Kearney out of high school.
Yep.
How was your experience with the playing side of it? Like outside of the locker room, just being on the field, like transitioning from playing in high school to playing in college. How was it transitioning? What kind of things did you have to get over?
I just had to get stronger. Very weak. I always, I played 3 or 4 sports in high school and truly never made weightlifting a priority. The summer before I went to college was the first time I ever said, okay, I got to get stronger.
Right.
I put on probably 10 or 15 pounds and did get stronger, but it's still never the same as actually going to college, lifting, college strength and conditioning coach, lifting with your teammates, and then just obviously getting older too. That was the biggest thing I had to do. But as far as playing, I mean, it was kind of like a dream come true because all you get to do is play.
Yeah.
You know, like you go to class, you go to school, but like, okay, I get to go to weights, have meetings, whereas in high school, it feels like everything's kind of halfway. So I really enjoyed that part of it, being able to focus just.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, get a little closer to the mic, just a little bit, because there's a couple times it cut out. I think
There you go.
you don't have to be like right up on it, but like a little closer. Yeah, it can definitely be a challenge for sure. The strength thing is important for sure, and I could see like how was it keeping weight on for you? How was it like physically in the weight room? Is it hard because you're so tall? What are you, 6'5"?
Yeah, 6'5", 6'6". I didn't keeping muscle on was definitely a problem.
Mm-hmm.
I like in the summer and in the spring when we weren't doing a whole lot, I didn't notice it too much, but like by the end of the season, I always felt like I was the same weight, but I was definitely not as strong.
Yeah,
You know, like I'd eaten enough, but I probably hadn't eaten the right stuff.
because you probably have to eat a lot of food. I
Yeah,
imagine.
I do have to eat a lot.
By
of
the
food.
way, I haven't mentioned this yet, but Riley's wife Megan is in studio. I bet she can attest to the food eating habits of Riley over here.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a lot.
She gets tired of making a lot of that food,
Yeah, I
not
can
having any
imagine.
leftovers usually.
Literally eating the whole plate. Yeah, man. You do have to eat a lot of food to play football. It's just it comes with the territory.
And
You do.
I feel like I was lucky in that I like to eat. Like I don't have a problem eating. I've had teammates that it's like they have to force themselves, to do that.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to
I
not
was
have
a little
to
bit like that.
Yeah.
Especially because at linebacker, you have to be like bigger than you
Right.
like are.
And
Like,
what
bigger than
hold.
you naturally
Mhm.
can hold. Like you have to be bigger than that. So I was having to eat like way more than I ever really wanted to.
Did you count like your macros and stuff? Like
There was a time, and honestly, I don't think it helped me to count the macros. I don't think it helped me to get real specific with the diet. Like I started doing it during COVID. Like I never did it in high school or early college, and then during COVID, I had all this time on my hands, so I was like, I might as well download this app and start counting my calories. But then I started overthinking it. I started like doing too much. I started trying to eat too healthy, and then I got miserable because I'm eating too healthy and I can't eat enough because, I mean, if you're eating that much, you can't eat healthy every meal. It's just not going to happen.
there's not enough calories.
Yeah, and you look at like even though like a Usain Bolt, I think I saw him talk about like he likes junk food, but have you seen him? And he runs the fastest 100 in the world.
Yeah.
So if you're burning that many calories, it's impossible to eat fully healthy all the time. It's just never going to happen.
No question. No, I always like we would sit down in the summer with our strength coach in Arkansas, and he would tell us we got to mark all this down. This is what I want you to eat. There's just no way you can like eat enough chicken, to have enough calories because it's so lean. But
Yeah.
you can't sit down and eat 5 chicken breasts.
No.
Like there's just no way
No,
can.
there's no way. And that's what I was trying to do. Like I was literally trying to eat like that, and it's just insane. There's just no way you can do that. There's no way you can sustain that because it takes so much time and energy.
Oh yeah,
Because
a
the
lot of
junk food-
preparation.
A lot of preparation, and just takes like it's more effort. Like it takes so much effort to eat that food, and a lot of it because it's not as good as like,
Right. Well,
eating
Can't
some
put
pizza or
can't put
whatever.
a pound of range on it.
Right.
And
Right.
it takes the whole
Yeah,
purpose away. No,
exactly.
I struggle with preparation. I hate cooking.
Mm.
I don't mind grilling, but gosh, you do so much work.
So much work, and then you got to clean it up.
Yeah, and then
after
it
you-
takes what, like 5-10 minutes.
Mhm.
You just did 45 minutes. And then
Yeah,
cleaning up too, dishes.
it's tough. Iowa. Shout out to the ladies over at Iowa Western Cafeteria. They cook some good food over there.
Right, they get us right.
Yeah, they do. Yep. So you're living off campus?
Yep, me and Megan, we live in an
Yep.
apartment just off campus.
Hell yeah.
We got married June of 2024, so we're still kind of getting used to that whole thing, which is it's great. We did long distance for 4 years. We were 12 hours apart for 4 years.
When you were at Washita?
Yep.
Yeah.
So she was still playing basketball at Kearney, and so that being together all the time has been kind of nice.
I'm sure it has.
But
Yeah. How was long distance? How did you approach that, especially with playing? Like, because I'm sure a lot of guys that are playing right now, even on our team, they're about to. A lot of the freshmen will do long distance with their girlfriends.
Yeah.
Like how did you approach that, and how did you get through that?
Well, I mean, first thing I'll say is it all depends on the girl, or in my case, woman. Sorry, Meg.
Good clarification there.
Meg made it really easy. You know,
Yeah.
she was an athlete too, so she gets it.
She gets it.
You know,
Yeah.
whereas I think either side, if one of us wasn't an athlete, it would have been impossible. A lot of time on your hands, where she was just as busy
Right.
as I was. You know,
Right.
she was preparing for the season when I was in season, and then when
Yeah.
I was off season, she was in her season.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot, and I think it also helped too. Like, it gave us something to look forward to. She was going to watch my game every Saturday. I would watch her games every week, and then I think as far as for the future, I think that as much as it was horrible during the 4 years, I don't think there's anything better for us long term.
Yeah.
Communication feels pretty easy now because
Because you're there now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because that is probably true. Where when you're long distance, the communication has to improve, because you don't have anything else. Like you can't hug each other. You can't see each other in person, and you can't like go on dates and do things. So like it's all you have is the communication. So that has to get better. And then when you do come back together, it's
pretty
probably
simple.
feels somewhat easy. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
That's amazing.
And it's it's been good too. You know, she works like 20 minutes from home, and I work 5 minutes from home. So like, just being able to come home every night and see her instead of having to FaceTime.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Hell yeah. It's amazing. Cool. Hey, how much longer we got till break? Is that about right?
Yeah. About
All right. My body, I wasn't even looking at the clock, but my body clock just kind of knows when the break needs to come. All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a couple minutes. We'll see you soon.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Play ball! Ready for summer fun and ballpark vibes? Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool.
robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back. I think I've said this every time since you switched the music, but I love that beat that you play. That's my favorite. So just off the top of my head, I'm wondering, obviously you're 6'5". I'm curious, your family, like if you have brothers, sisters, did your parents play sports? Like what's your family doing?
Yeah, my parents played high school sports. I think my dad played basketball and my mom played volleyball, but that was it. They both went to college and play sports. And I have two younger sisters and they're not athletes. I'm kind of the only one. My mom's dad, my grandpa on my mom's side, he was a two-sport athlete in college. He swam and played basketball.
That's crazy.
So that's probably where that's
a crazy combination of sports. That's different skills.
Yeah. I didn't get the
to keep you shape in the off
diving.
season. They'll keep you in shape in the off season, I guess.
Well, they were at the same time. They're both winter sports.
Oh, so he was in shape.
Yeah.
Imagine playing basketball and swimming. You got to have some cardio too.
Yeah.
You got to have some cardio too, for sure.
I didn't get any of the cardio or the swimming and the diving. Maybe a little basketball. I didn't get anything after.
You probably would have been good at swimming though, because you're so tall. Like Michael Phelps has got. You ever seen his arms?
Oh yeah, and his
it's unbelievable.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, like a fish.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So being 6'5", do you think that helped you play quarterback?
Yeah, I mean,
you can really see over the line.
Yeah, I think it just it depends. Style, I would say, and like your fit to the offense is probably more important than anything else. The offense that I played in at Ouachita was pretty pro style, so it would help me a lot just because it's more kind of we ran into some RPO and some draw stuff, a lot more pocket oriented.
Yeah, I could see that.
So it definitely helped me in that sense, being a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
able to kind of take a few more hits. But I mean, in today's football where the offenses are so versatile and able to adjust, I don't really think that size is too big of an issue for anybody.
Yeah. No, I've seen guys be successful and not be that tall.
Yeah.
Like our quarterback at UNI was, I think 5'9", and then he transferred to Central Arkansas and he had over 10,000 yards passing.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Yeah, he's really good. Shout out to Will McElvain. He played up in the CFL now.
Oh, is he? What team is he on?
Edmonton.
Okay.
Yep, the Elks. The Elks. That CFL is an interesting spot.
Yeah.
CFL is an interesting league up there.
For a year, right?
Yeah, they're playing right now. They're in week 5. They're playing because it gets so cold up there. So they play 3 preseason games, 18 regular season, and then 3 playoffs. So it's a long season, and it gets so cold up there that they can't play in January. Like there's no way. Like
what is the weather like right now up there?
It's like this. It's warm. Like it's summer.
Yeah, just probably not.
There's nowhere. It won't be cold anywhere up there yet. It's still warm up there, unless you go like nowhere that they're playing is going to be cold yet. But it gets colder earlier, and it's like there's just no way you can play in like December, January in the CFL. It gets so cold, and there's only one dome. Only one of the teams has a dome, so everybody else is outside. I remember going out to practice in that Canadian winter. Brutal.
I'm sure. Yeah,
Brutal.
I'm not jealous of that at all.
Yeah. It's a fun league though. So then what made you transfer from Kearney to Ouachita? What was that process like?
Yeah, I loved Kearney. That's where I met Megan. She played basketball out there, and we had a great time. And I loved the football. I loved the coaches out there. But the guy that recruited me, he left after my first semester. He and I were pretty close, and he just had a better job opportunity. And then I decided I wanted to stick it out. Obviously, they brought in more of a triple option. I loved him, Coach Thatcher. He was at Kearney. He spent a year at Army then after he left Kearney, and then now he's back at New Mexico Highlands. He's one of my all-time favorite coaches. He was I learned a lot from him, but he kind of implemented more of a spread option offense, and kind of like we just kind of referenced that was not my style. So I felt like, to have an opportunity to play quarterback, I needed to look elsewhere. So I decided to transfer, and the coaches were very helpful. They understood the situation, and the receivers coach at Kearney, I was pretty close with, Augustine Ume Izoka. He's another really good football coach. He played down at Ouachita Baptist under the same head coach, and he said, "Hey, I think you'd be a really good fit." I took a visit there, and I knew right away that's where I wanted to be. And we kind of talked earlier too. I got in the portal in like November of 2020, like a month before it just completely blew up. So I was very fortunate to even find a home, because a lot of people, kind of went in and never really found their next stop.
I could see that. Yeah, that was a weird time for the portal. We went in the portal at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was very weird because I think the portal opened in, I want to say, like April. Like the portal in general, there was no such thing as the portal. And then April 2020, the portal becomes a thing. COVID happens at the same time.
Yeah.
And I remember going through that process, and our season got canceled, and I had 2 years left to play. So I went in the portal, and because I had already graduated, I was graduating at the time. So I was like, I might as well. And so I go in the portal, and you don't really know what's going on because it's so new. Like the portal now, now everybody goes in the portal, and everybody's tweeting their offers, and everybody's kind of knows how to handle it. And it's a pretty normal thing. But back then it was kind of different.
Well, and that was the first time that, I think it was at some point that summer was the first time you didn't have to have any like waiver to leave your school. You could just say, "Hey, I'm leaving." So there's nothing they could do about it. And then you could transfer anywhere and not have to sit out.
Right.
Before that, you had to sit out for a year, and then it became, if you go in conference, you have to sit out a year unless you were granted a waiver. And then that was like, all of a sudden, Wild West, you could go anywhere with no repercussions.
Insane. Insane.
Made
like you had to
sense at the
graduate
time.
back in the day.
Yes,
like you had to
exactly.
graduate. You had to grad transfer, which I would have been okay to do that, but there also wasn't. Portal made it different, where you had a name in this thing that was called the portal, and like you had to go get a permission slip. Like I remember getting the permission slip. Like I remember I had to go to the head coach and like have him sign this form to like release me, basically. That was, talk about hard conversations. That was one of the harder conversations I've had in my life, where I made a decision, and it wasn't anybody telling me to make the decision. It was just on me. It was what I wanted to do, and it was a hard conversation to have for me, and one of those that I remember. I remember that conversation. I do remember how it was handled, and I appreciated how it was handled from both sides, because I think you see a lot about how a person is when they handle those type of conversations. Like you see how they really feel and how they are as a person. And I learned a lot about the people around me when I made that decision, and I'm still appreciative to this day of how that part was handled. Because it's tough. Like you're leaving a team that you've kind of bled with and sweat with and played with and gone to war with, and you leave, and it doesn't feel great. Like it feels a little bit weird to do, and it's more normalized now, and it's less. I think the team aspect of things is a little bit different, where everybody kind of knows it's more individual, but it's still a weird thing to do, where it feels it's tough to navigate. Because you do care about those people, and you do appreciate those people a lot, and ultimately you have to do what's best for you.
Yeah, I think it's accepted now as like a business decision,
right?
Whereas then it was like almost like a personal.
Yeah.
And you're betraying, or like you're leaving that school, or now it's like more of an opportunity. It's kind of how it's viewed.
Yeah, I felt a bit of that. Yeah, it was challenging.
And at my level, it wasn't. Obviously, there was no money involved, or it was just I wanted an opportunity to play, and I'm sure at that level, leaving FCS to an FBS school, it probably felt kind of like betrayal, because you knew you were good enough to play at a bigger school, but you'd kind of put your time in there. I'm sure that was hard.
Yeah, it was hard for sure. But ultimately, you have to do what's best for you and your family, and best for what you feel like your career is moving forward. So I'm curious. Change the topic here. So I'm curious, on to coaching. What was it that made you want to coach? And was that like a new decision, or was that did you kind of know growing up that you wanted to be a coach, or how did that decision go for you?
Yeah. When I was younger, I always kind of joked like, "Oh, I'll never want to do anything but football," and it was true, just not in the sense I thought. Like there's no way I could have ever done anything but something in football. I'd say in high school is probably when I first started to really feel like I wanted to be a coach, but I felt like I wanted to be a high school teacher and coach. Then I got to college and I was like, no way I could go coach and teach high school. Like I knew I wanted to be a college football coach pretty much as soon as I got to college. I got to Kearney.
Okay, so it was quick. You knew.
Yeah, I pretty much my whole college career. I feel like as long as I've known Megan, I wanted to be a college coach.
That's amazing that you had that vision and were able to do that. Yeah, because it's not everybody. I didn't have that. I didn't have I want to be a coach and I'm going to do it. It kind of was something that came to me later. But the fact that honestly, you were probably able to, when you were playing, view things like a coach and know in the back of your mind, okay, I'm going to coach one day. I probably need to keep these playbooks. I probably need to take extra notes or kind of understand the way the coach is thinking more, or pick his brain a little bit so you can kind of understand how they think, so that it can help you when you're a coach.
Yeah, no question. And I was very lucky to have really good coaches growing up, high school, and then college. I had great coaches at both the schools I was at.
Yeah.
And I think that probably is what really finished off like, yeah, I want to be a coach because I know how much of an impact they had on me.
Agreed.
Positive impact.
That's like most of the reasons.
Yes.
Positive and negative.
Yeah.
Really.
Right.
Like positive impact. Some had a positive impact and some had a negative impact, and both pushed me into wanting to do it in a way that's positive for kids and positive for the people around me. And I really want to approach it from a place of giving. Like, how much can I give to the people around me, and how much can I,
I mean, you know what the game gave you.
Right.
Right. And then what those coaches gave you and the perspective that you gained from them, I think is the big part of it. I know like the experience I had, I played 7 years of college football, like just
long time.
Right too much.
Long time. Did you get a master's? You got a master's degree, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
But I want to be able to, kind of pass that on to whoever else wants it.
By the way, with a master's degree, you're teaching a class this semester, right? At Iowa Western.
That's right.
We're both teaching. We're both professors at Iowa Western, so you can refer to us as
Tell him Mr. Kolarevic.
Professor coaches. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm teaching 2 Business 1000 classes. That'll be very interesting.
It's business. It's better you than me. I know that.
I mean,
that is for sure.
We'll see. I kind of grew up around business. Like my family, my dad's a business guy.
Yeah.
Does real estate and owned a business growing up. So he did that, and then I studied it in college. I mean, I was majoring in football, obviously.
Okay, yeah.
But got a business degree, got a master's degree in it, and then did it for a year after football too.
Yeah, that's right. And that'll probably be a huge help for you.
Yeah.
Is actually experiencing. All I know is more money has to come in than goes out. That's about all I know.
Pretty much. I mean, that's about it.
All I know.
It's kind of like when you're playing football, like you need to score more points than the other team. Pretty much. You need to make more money than you lose.
Than the red,
yeah, pretty much. That's accurate. Yeah, so that'll be kind of funny. Professors. What did you get your master's degree in?
Exercise science.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my undergrad was kinesiology, and then exercise science was a master's.
You feel like that helps you with taking care of your body? Like, you think you learned stuff from that?
Yeah, I would say the recovery was the biggest part of that. I mean, because the football side of things, like they take care of the weight training for you. Like
right.
You're going to do what they say, even if you like it or not.
Yeah.
So that was kind of taken care of. But the recovery, as far as like I truly never knew how important sleep was, until I got into the master's classes and we read about like the difference between 6 and 7 and 8 hours of sleep is for your brain and for
it's huge. It's huge.
And then just the ice baths or like actually taking it seriously.
On that sleep topic, sleep's an interesting one because I kind of go in phases with sleep, where like some nights I'm up and at, like especially during the season, I'm up and at them early in the morning and then late at night, so I'm not getting as much sleep. And in the off season, I'll like almost hibernate, or it'll be like 10, 11 hours.
Yeah.
Or it'll be I've never been like a real consistent 8 hours a night sleeper, just because of like the cyclical nature of football, where it's not the same all year round. So a lot of times, like during the season, I'll be up more because I have so much more to do, especially with school. When you were playing, you had a lot of school to do, or when you're traveling to a faraway place and you got to fly in late at night or whatever. Like I would notice a lot of times it'd be not have much sleep here, and then off season comes and I'm like almost hibernating.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
The winter comes around.
Winter
comes around and I'm like sleeping 10, 11 hours a night. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely an important aspect of recovery. That's for sure.
Well, and I don't know if like sponsors, like I got a Whoop when I was playing.
Oh yeah, you're good to talk about.
Okay,
Whatever.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys
Maybe
are
Whoop
drunk.
will sponsor
There you
the
go.
show.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll sponsor
And
the show.
I worked for 2 years, and like they published their own research,
Mhm.
and I learned a lot about like kind of just like we're talking circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own. They get tired at this time and they fall asleep. They
Right.
should fall asleep at this time and they should wake up at this time.
Yep.
It's really interesting. I think it helped me a lot with just routine.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If your body truly is a clock, and if you treat it like that, then you're gonna perform and feel a lot better.
Agreed. Yeah, I did the Whoop band for a couple years too.
Did you?
Yeah. Honestly, it was kind of during that COVID time when I had a lot of extra
Yeah.
time on my hands. So I'm gonna like kind of play around with this and figure it out. And yeah, it did. And it was cool how you could input. Okay, I did this today. I did that today. I did this today, and then it
Yeah.
would track over months how it affected your
Yeah.
sleep, which was interesting too. Like I ate this type of food today, and this affected my sleep this way. It was cool how it kind of did that for you. It broke it down for you.
And then you could join the communities. I always
Yeah.
joined like I would find like a football community. And you could see, okay, on Tuesday we like your strain was this high, and then somebody
Mhm.
at Nebraska, Chris Kolarevic was this strain. Like,
Right.
we're working the same.
Yeah, the
working
practice
same-
strains, the practice strains would get high. I would get, I don't know, I think it was like you'd get to like 17 and a half.
Yeah.
A lot of practices.
Oh yeah.
Out of 21.
21.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
Get
highest,
high.
my highest ever was 20.3.
Was it a game? What was it?
No, so it was like our 3rd or 4th day of fall camp,
Mm.
and if you've ever been to Arkansas,
Hot.
it's hot. But then Arkadelphia is in the middle of 3 huge like river and lake systems.
Mhm.
They've dammed them up, and then there's big lakes, and so we're just south of Hot Springs,
Yeah.
and it is so freaking humid.
Mm.
Like truly, it feels like you got a wet sock in front of your face the whole time. You know?
Yeah.
And like I said, I vividly remember me and then one of our receivers had a Whoop. We were both like,
Yeah.
like we about maxed it
That's
out.
actually surprising though. I wouldn't have guessed that because you're a quarterback. So I wouldn't have thought like you'd be running that much, like nothing
Yeah.
like against being a quarterback
Right,
by any
no,
means, but it's
no
like,
question.
I wouldn't have thought it would be that much
Well,
from being a
and
quarterback.
the thing about humidity, at least that I've always felt, is like it takes you so much longer. Like when it's hot or like it's warm, like your heart rate gets high, but you can still kind of come back down. When it's humid, it feels like it doesn't come back down until like you're done with practice.
Mhm.
So it just like stays, 150, 160, 170, whatever it is. the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah, definitely. All right. With that, hopefully Whoop will start sponsoring us. That'd be cool. We got to take one more break here. We'll be back in a couple minutes. We'll see you soon.
What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity? Positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all 3? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Play ball! Ready for summer fun and ballpark vibes? Bring your pack to Haymarket Park for a thrilling season of Lincoln Salt Dogs baseball and unleash the fun. From May through August, the Lincoln Salt Dogs will be playing and the park will be popping with all the food, drinks, and fun you need for the perfect night out. Grab your friends, family, and coworkers and make plans now. Visit saltdogs.com to secure your tickets. Come on out to the park and unleash the fun.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Back to 6 p.m. in Lincoln with Chris Kolarevic, sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we got one more quick segment here to finish things up. We got Riley Harms in studio with his wife, Megan. Megan doesn't want to hop on, which is totally okay. And Riley's doing all the talking. Let's see here. I want to finish up. We were just talking about Whoop. I want to finish up and talk about finish on the coaching thing, where I'm wondering, going into your first year coaching, you played for 7 years in college. What's kind of your approach in general to your coaching, like whether it's special teams, whether it's a tight end room? Like what's your kind of overall philosophy approach to the coaching side of things?
Well, I think that it first goes back to kind of what we talked about earlier is how, in order to have an impact on like the players, and I think both from off the field and on the field, like you have to have a relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to get them to trust you. And I think you just got to get to know them.
Yeah.
All there is to it. That's the first thing. So when I first started in February, I really tried to, when we would meet, it was, like a lot of football, but then I tried to sit down with each one of them individually and just kind of get to know them, what their goals are, what they want to do after football. And then I think that once you kind of cultivate that relationship, then they're going to be a lot more willing to hear you, about football. Once you kind of lay that groundwork and two, I think it's just kind of fun. I really enjoy just meeting more people and feeling like I know more people. So that makes it fun. So that's kind of, I would say, my first thing is just, getting to know all the kids as well as possible. From a special team standpoint, that's going to be, my main focus this fall. It's just going to be really kind of embracing that role and making sure that we, we're going to have one of the best units in the country. And
you're damn right we will.
Yeah. So it's going to be a lot about just kind of repetitions and making sure that we're the same every single day. I think from, coaches and players, getting them to understand, like, here's our standard. We're going to hold them to it every day, and then they better come ready to go. Agreed. And they will. They'll come ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a good point, though, about the relationships thing, and I think it's even more important nowadays than it was, say, 10 to 20, whatever years ago. Building those bonds with players so that, because these kids nowadays are just it's different. Like, social media made things different. Like, it made the world a different place.
Right.
Where honestly, you have to be you, like we were talking about earlier, because I think people can see through it even more nowadays. Like, people can really see through whether you're being yourself and genuine, authentic. And that's really how you build those relationships, is being yourself, because it just makes it easier to build those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you build it through being authentic. I think you build it through kind of going through tough things together, whether it's fall camp and seeing how people perform and show up every day during fall camp, and you kind of go through that adversity together and you learn about each other. But you're right, that's really the key to it. Yeah.
No, I think I think too, when it's junior college, it probably feels different because, that most of them are only going to be here for 2 years, but
Right.
it's just as important because, you ultimately want to see them go on in the next, phase, the 4-year school, wherever they want to end up and do well. And so in order to help them, that's the best way is to get to know them. And I think that as easy as it is to meet people, like you talk about social media, it almost feels like true, relationships are rarer now.
Exactly.
They're almost like cheaper. Right? Oh, I know this guy because I
Right.
texted him, or like actually knowing somebody now and like truly making a relationship with them is probably rarer.
Yeah, and on that point, I think that's a good point, and I think why it's harder is we're so distracted by it, and we have people to talk to all the time on our phone. Like, we could talk to our family 24/7 on our phone, and we can talk to old friends on our phone 24/7. So it takes us out of the moment and doesn't
Yeah.
and a lot of times we probably don't connect with the people around us as much and build those deeper bonds, and, like, being able to do that is important.
No question. I think being in the moment's a great point. I mean,
Yeah.
being present and
Being
being where your
present.
feet are,
Yeah.
no matter what you're doing, whether it's a radio show or,
Yeah.
in a position.
And to your point earlier, like, the only way to really be present is to be yourself.
Mhm.
Because if you're trying to put this character on or you're trying to do something that's not you, you really can't meet the moment because
Yeah.
you're thinking about how am I presenting myself? What do I look like to other people? When it's really, no, I just need to be me. And that's how you really truly live in the moment.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah. The season's going to be fun, man. It's going to be good.
It is. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of motivation, lost the national championship last year with a chance to three-peat.
Mhm.
So I think people are they're gonna know we're coming.
We're coming. We coming.
So it's gonna be
Deion
it's gonna be
Sanders, we
fun.
coming.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's
So,
it's really like the motivation, all that doesn't really matter. I mean,
yeah,
we gotta show up for fall camp and we gotta put in the work, and
agreed.
so it'll be fun. We got a good team, but none of that matters. You
Mhm.
got to be able to put the team together, right? We got the right pieces. We got to
Right.
be able to put the team together, and
That
that's
is
what
one
the
thing that
process is.
I think Stroh's done a really good job with at Iowa Western, which is hard to do at a junior college, is build a team, like build a real culture, and it feels like there's a real culture because at a JUCO, kids are only there for 2 years, and you have a lot more players in the team, and they're not there as much, like they haven't been there in the summer, so it's a lot harder to build a culture, but he's done such a good job with it somehow. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what it is about it that created it, but I can feel it when I'm there because I've been a part of bad cultures and I've been a part of good cultures, and this one just feels like a great culture to me, and it feels like a very um, team-oriented culture, which is very hard to do in a junior college.
I think he's obviously experienced, but I also think too he's so intelligent. He knows exactly what buttons to push,
Mhm.
which strings to pull, at
100%.
what time, and
100%.
I think that his reputation kind of precedes himself in that too.
Completely agree. All right, with that, shout out to Coach Stroh. We are finishing up the show right now. We just had the music play, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming on the show, Riley.
Appreciate you. Thank you. For
And
having
we
me.
will see y'all next week.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book